In the early years of the 20th century, the British Empire projected its power through one primary instrument, the Royal Navy. This armada was the largest in history, patrolling every major trade route under a constant canopy of thick black smoke. That smoke was the byproduct of the Empire's greatest logistical strength. The entire fleet was powered by coal, harvested from deep within the secure domestic mines of Wales and Yorkshire. But coal was a demanding fuel. It required an army of men in the bowels of these ships, manually shoveling millions of tons of heavy rock into roaring furnaces to keep the propellers turning. While it was labor-heavy and dirty, coal gave Britain a luxury few nations possessed: total energy independence. As long as the mines were open, the Navy was untouchable. That security was challenged by the rapid rise of the German Navy. To stay ahead, Britain designed a new class of ships to carry massive 15-inch guns, weapons capable of firing a nearly 2,000-pound projectile. First Lord of the Admiralty, Winston Churchill, and Admiral John Fisher realized these heavier ships had reached the physical limits of coal. It simply couldn't generate the steam pressure required to reach the speeds necessary for modern combat. The solution was petroleum. Oil has twice coal's energy density, allowing ships to travel twice as far at higher speeds and having the boiler room staff. Plus, ships could refuel at sea, and the lack of black smoke made them much harder to spot. But there was a strategic catch. While Britain had an ocean of coal, it had almost no domestic oil. Churchill was proposing a massive gamble, trading the Empire's energy sovereignty for a slight tactical advantage in naval speed. To secure a supply, Churchill orchestrated a bold maneuver in 1914.
He convinced Parliament to buy a 51% controlling stake in a struggling private outfit called the Anglo-Persian Oil Company, the entity we now know as BP. With a 20-year fuel contract signed, the massive new oil-fired dreadnoughts hit the water, carrying the heavy artillery Churchill demanded. Inside these ships, the move to oil reconfigured the layout of the hull, replacing bulky coal bunkers with a complex system of pumps, storage tanks, and pressurized pipes. This investment marked a turning point. By tying the state's military readiness to a private oil company, the British government effectively created the modern military oil complex. When World War I broke out, the transition to oil was tested on an immense scale. Britain and its allies had secured millions of barrels of oil, while the German military remained largely dependent on coal. That petroleum fueled more than just ships. It drove the internal combustion engines that moved the first tanks across no man's land and kept the first fighter planes in the air. The consequences for Germany were dire. A lack of oil paralyzed their mechanized units and grounded their farm equipment, making their massive coal reserves strategically irrelevant. The Allied fleet pressed its advantage through rough seas, maintaining a blockade that the slower, coal-reliant German Navy couldn't break. In the end, the gamble paid off. As Lord Curzon noted after the war, the Allies had floated to victory upon a wave of oil. The war proved that oil was now the essential blood of victory. In the years that followed, Western powers raced to build up extraction infrastructure across the Middle East. This culminated in 1928 as negotiators met in Ostend, Belgium, to divide the resources of the now-defunct Ottoman Empire. A key figure in these talks was Kalust Gulbenkian, an Armenian businessman who held a minority stake in the regional oil enterprise and pushed for a unified consortium. The result was the Red Line Agreement. A literal red line defined where companies pledged to drill only through a joint consortium. This cartelized the Middle East, ending open competition and launching the global oil monopolies of the 20th century. Over the following decades, the demand for Middle Eastern oil grew far beyond the military. It became the primary fuel for the entire global economy. By choosing oil over domestic coal, Western nations permanently linked their own national security to the stability of the Persian Gulf. The geopolitical friction, interventions, and resource conflicts of the last 100 years are the direct result of this early dependence on foreign fuel. Winston Churchill's decision to make his ships go a little bit faster did more than win a war. It drew the geopolitical map of the modern world and fixed the price of global power for a century.